morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Desmos, and you're welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality and I talk about personal and self-growth. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us. Give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back. And I thank you for your love and support. So today's video, I'm going to talk about identity theft. Now, a lot of you guys may already be aware of this eventually. So you see, the narcissist and the empath, there are two people on the opposite side of the spectrum. So on the other side of the spectrum, we have the narcissist, who is all about pain, torture, manipulation, abuse, and all those things that follow with narcissism. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we have the empath, who is about truth, honesty. They're also about doing whatever it is they can do to help or to improve the lives of the people around them. Now you see, eventually, everybody has got their own ways, their own swagger, their own style. They have got their own way of how they do things on a regular basis. So normally, you will see the narcissist in the beginning, in the early days of meeting them, especially we're talking about situations of friendships and relationships. So you will see a narcissist. They will come into your life, and they have got their own way of talking, their own way of cooking, their own way of behaving. They have got their own personality that describes or identifies them. Initially, even that you don't know initially that those individuals, they are narcs. So they have got something exactly that identifies them and the way they do things. Now, when you meet them, you're going to notice that it's very difficult for the narcissist to meet you in the middle. So those are the individuals who they will struggle. They may sometimes want to do that, but sometimes they may mimic that. But it's going to be very difficult for them to meet you in the middle. So you're always going to find a situation whereby you're being stretched an extra mile to reach where they are. Or sometimes they are being stretched an extra mile to reach where you are. So a lot of you guys have heard about the term what they call breadcrumbing. And again, I'm going to make another video about that. So the narcissists, they are used to breadcrumbing. You'll give them a loaf of bread. They will come around and they'll give you breadcrumbs. So with the narcissist, it's not half-half. You know what I mean? In the beginning, they may pretend during the love bomb phase that they're giving you everything. But normally, you will also notice that those individuals, they've got nothing to offer. So you give them a loaf of bread, and in return, they are going to give you breadcrumbs. You give them £100 or $100, they will come around and give you some little change, $4, $5, $3 or something like that. So you're going to notice that the narcissist, they have got nothing to offer. But you see, when you're living with the narcissist, one thing you're going to realize as an empath is that the narcissist is going to start complaining about the way you behave or the way you take yourself. So you might be, as an empath, of course, you might have little things that you like. You may be a person who likes to take a morning coffee. You may be a person who likes to go to the gym. You may be a person who likes a specific type of music, a certain type of music. So you have got your own way of how you do your things and the things that identify you as an empath. Now, usually, you're going to notice that the narcissist is complaining on a daily basis about the way you behave. Oh, you know what? I don't like it when you listen to that kind of music. You know what I mean? I don't like when you listen to that kind of music. I don't like when you're watching these kind of movies. I don't like when you're sitting in that kind of position. So sometimes you may be a person who sits, you want to cross your legs. So the narcissist sits on the opposite side of the couch, and they're telling you that they don't like the way you cross your legs. They don't like the way you scratch your back. They don't like the way you do your makeup. They don't like the way you paint your nails. they're going to start complaining about each and every little thing about you. And sometimes as an empath, you think, okay, so these are your partners. You know, you want to please them. You know, you want to do some of those things that they like. So sometimes you're going to start abandoning your own things, the things that you like. So you're going to start abandoning your own style, your own swag. And eventually, on the other hand, when they're telling you that they do not like what you do, or the things you like, or the music you listen to, or the things you watch, now that's when you're going to notice that the narcissist, secretly, you may sometimes leave the house and go on a walk, only for you to discover, coming back home, or sometime you're near the house and you're actually listening through the windows, and the narcissist is listening to that same music that they told you that they do not like, the same music, or sometimes the same movies that they told you they do not like. And guys, this is very disturbing. So most of the times you will see a person telling you that they do not like something about you. They don't like the makeup you use. They don't like the way you sit. They don't like, you know, sometimes they'll complain about the position that you sleep. So they don't like each and everything about you. They are always going to complain something about you. But you have got to know something, guys. The narcissist works in the opposite. So when they are not telling you, when they're telling you that they do not like something about you, you should actually know at this point that actually they admire those qualities about you. So those are the things that they admire about you. But when they see you doing those kind of things, sometimes it may be empaths who like to help people. You know what I mean? I remember there was a time, you guys, I'll tell you a short story. I remember there was a time, so I was standing, so we're just on the balcony, just, you know, those early days of those entanglements. So on the balcony, so I see this lady across the street. So this lady was drunk. And I would see that the lady was trying to drag her bicycle, trying to get towards the lady was close to her home, so she was trying to drag the bicycle towards the gate. But I would see that this lady was completely drunk. So I was like telling the narcissist, so listen. So we saw this. I was on the balcony, so we saw this, and these were like our neighbors. I was like, hey, listen, this woman seems to be drunk. You know what I mean? I could easily go down there, and I could, you know, give her a hand, maybe sometime give her a little push towards, you know, towards her home and towards her gate. The narcissist told me, I don't know what is wrong with you. That is her business. You know, she can fall down if she wants, because on that time it was a highway, so it was like cars were using that road, and she was on the side of the road. But sometimes I could see that she was dragging and falling towards the roadside, towards the road. And I wanted to help that woman. The narcissist refused me to help the woman, ladies and gentlemen. It's not your business, you know. Leave her to do what she wants. You know, she can die or whatever she can. It's not you who ordered her, who told her to go and start drinking. So the narcissist rejected my proposition of going there. So well, in those days, of course, as you guys already know, I was not much aware about this narcissistic abuse and everything. So I said, okay, I'm gonna let it go. The narcissist, let me tell you something, secretly, they're admiring your qualities, because they are thinking in their mind, how does this person, how are they able to be authentic? How are they able to be empathetic? How are they able to do all these little nice things that they cannot do? Because the narcissists, let me tell you something, they are not capable of any form of empathy. If you ever see a narcissist pulling out a stunt of empathy, you have got to know that stunt has been sometimes copied somewhere, or sometimes they are just trying to suck you in, or sometimes they're just trying to lie to you that they are actually nice people, but on the other side, on the back side of them, behind the mask, those individuals, they're extremely evil individuals. So you will see a lot of times, you will share so much with the narcissist, because, you know, sometimes when you're in the relationship, you want to share a lot of stuff with them, you know what I mean? You want to share things, this is what I like, this is what we do, and this is how I carry myself. So they are going to start copying a lot of things from you. They will be copying a lot of things from you, but as much as they are copying all these little things from you, they're also complaining about them. Don't sit like that. Don't sleep like this. I don't like that food you're cooking. I don't like the music you're listening to. I don't like the movies you're watching. So they're always going to complain about all these little things that you're doing as an individual, the things that identify you as an empath, as a person who doesn't mean any harm to anybody. But you see, let me tell you something, guys. When you're living with a narcissist, the narcissist is infecting you secretly and slowly. Eventually, they are infecting you with their habits. The narcissist is infecting you on a daily basis with their style. That's why you see a lot of you guys, you end up into things like, you know, you start picking up addictions. And again, this is going to be another video. So I'm going to also talk about the addictions that you guys, you will usually develop when you're dealing with a narcissist. So you are going to see the narcissist. They are going to start infecting you with their behavior. And I can guarantee you within months, 2, 3, 4 months, I don't know, whatever, you're going to notice that you're starting to do those things that the narcissist likes. Because initially, this is very important. I want you guys to open your ears very closely. Initially, when you meet the narcissist, the first thing they're going to tell you, I don't know if you've not had that already, it is going to happen that the narcissist will tell you that they are actually going to make you that person that they want you to be. They want you to be. So not the person that who you are, or something that identifies you as an individual. They are going to craft you and make you into that person that they want you to be. So that's where now the infection starts. They are going to start infecting you with their habits. They are going to start teaching you something about drugs. They are going to start teaching you something about pornography. A lot of you guys are going to get involved in sexual behavior, sexual addiction, or things like that. Sometimes you might even end up going into swinging when you're with a narcissist. So that's why you see a lot of these things like threesomes, you know, foursomes. They will tell you, oh, you know what, I like to have I want us to have sex with the third woman, or with the third man, or something like that. So you're going to now get involved in threesomes and foursomes and whatever. You're always going to hear the narcissist introducing you to those kind of habits. Initially, it may not make a lot of sense if a person who has not yet awakened and understood what is going on. You may not actually pick a lot of sense from this, but later on you're going to notice that behavior actually, it was never you in the first place. It has been something that has been picked up from the narcissist. Whether you knew it or you don't know it, they were actually infecting you with their own personality and their own identity, because that's what identifies narcissists. You know, those are the things that they do, that they thrive from. They get a kick-off from. They like threesomes, they like foursomes, they like drugs, they like alcohol, they like you know, anything that describes evil. I can guarantee you guys, if you're an empath out there and you're a very beautiful soul, you have been with a narcissist, I will guarantee you, by the time you leave those individuals, you have already picked up 1, 2, or 3 of their own identity. And let me tell you something, what they are doing. Secretly, the narcissist is monitoring you. So on a daily basis, they're secretly studying you. You know what I mean? They'll be somewhere in the corner watching you. What are you doing? They'll be seeing sometimes the way you behave, you know, sometimes the way you speak, you know, the way you carry yourself, all these little things, they will be making notes. These narcissists, let me tell you something. They'll be secretly taking notes and trying to steal everything that identifies you as a beautiful soul. So what they are doing now, they're registering those things for themselves. Even sometimes they're not telling you this. And on the other hand, they are giving you and infecting you with their identity. Now, what usually happens is, when those kind of entanglements come to the end, those narcissistic entanglements and everything, situationships, when they come to the end, that is where you're going to see the effect of the infections that the narcissist has done to you. That's when you're going to see the effect of how much and how deep the narcissist has destroyed your soul. Because you're going to live most of the times those entanglements with these addictions, with these identities, with these personalities, with these behaviors. Most of the times at the end of that, that's why you see a lot of times people who live narcissists at the end of those entanglements, they actually sometimes believe that they're narcissists, because they have mastered and they have learned a lot of things from those individuals. Sometimes things that did not belong to them. And you know what is happening on the other side? As the narcissist is rushing in to very quickly grab the new person, the new supply. You know, you guys have already heard about the new supply. So they are rushing around to grab the new supply. What is secretly happening? The narcissist is now going to use your identity, the things that they have stolen from you, even sometimes that you didn't know it. They are going to steal your identity, and they are going to now move on and use that same identity to get into new situationships and new entanglements with a new supply. So you best believe, when you have been with a narcissist in the beginning, the very first time you met them, on the very first day, I can guarantee you that almost 85% of their identity that they showed to you in that time, they made you believe that it was them. A lot of that identity and the personality they have learned, a lot of those things they are doing, the way they are behaving, they have actually picked those things from the previous supplies before you. Let me repeat this. In the initial stages of the narcissistic relationship, entanglements and situationships, a lot of the identity and personality they are portraying towards you, especially during the love bomb phase, they have already picked those things from the previous supply before you, because they need that identity. The narcissist does not have anything what describes authentic identity. So they have learned some things from the old supplies, old friends, old family members, old situationships, old friends, old workmates. They have learned a lot of things. They have picked up a lot of things, good empathetic behaviors from previous individuals, and now they are coming into that situationship with you, and that is exactly what you're seeing. That is exactly what you're seeing in the beginning. So they have already stolen somebody's identity before they came to meet you. So, but you see, the problem is they cannot handle this identity for a long period of time. So normally it will fade away, because that is not what identifies a narcissist. So normally at a certain point in time, it is going to fade away, and they have got to go back to the narcissist that they were in the beginning. So that's why you see it is very difficult for a narcissist to spend a very long period of time alone. They have got to have somebody very, very quickly, because they know at some point when they leave you, they know that they cannot survive. They are going to need somebody else on the other side of the spectrum that is going to help them to thrive, because they thrive off of your energy, your personality, your behaviors, your identity. So they are copying you, each and everything about you. So that's why you see sometimes in the new relationships, you meet these narcissists, and then they're going to play some music for you on the radio. Oh, you know what? I like that song. You know what I mean? You're going to see them all of a sudden they like a certain type of music. I like that song. You know, have you ever heard about this song? Have you ever seen this movie? Have you ever done like this? So you're going to see them copying a lot of things they have picked up from the previous relationships into the new relationship, because they need that identity to get into new situationships when they have left the old sources of supply. So when I'm talking about identity theft, I'm simply meaning that the narcissist keeps on going from victim to victim, and they're stealing their identities for their own benefits to get into new relationships. But normally you will see that they are always complaining about those same identities that they don't like. They don't like this, they don't like that. Don't do this, don't do that. When you do that, I feel bad. When you do this, I feel bad. But secretly, actually, they are secretly admiring whatever it is that identifies you as a beautiful soul. So identity theft is a very common thing when we're talking about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. It's a very common thing you are going to see along your journey, guys. If you're not seeing it already, they will always pick up somebody, an empath. Usually in this case, we're talking about empaths, because the narcissist is not going to go around with another narcissist, and they're going to steal the identity of that other narcissist. So they cannot survive off of each other, because they're all toxic individuals. They only need a beautiful soul that is going to help them to thrive. On and on and on, you're going to see from one victim to another. You're going to see the narcissist appearing into a victim's life with a new identity. They go from you, they pick up your qualities and everything, identity. They go to the new victim, they will portray those identities as their own. Now, as the identity fades away, this is why I want you guys to listen very closely. As that identity starts to fade away, because I've told you guys this thing fades away with time. So, as that identity fades away, the only time they need that identity is in the beginning of the entanglement. So, like, let me say the love bomb, you know, first 1, 2, maybe 3 months. So after that, your identity now starts to fade away, because eventually the narcissist now is learning the new identities from the new source of supply. They are now catching up the new identity from the new source of supply. Your identity, you as a person who has been discarded a couple of months ago, it is fading away. Now they are coming into the new relationship, and now they're starting to use that identity. They are picking up the new identity from the new source of supply. So the identity theft happens from victim to victim, again and again, all over again. It just keeps on going in circles, whereby they continuously struggling to get into people's lives, steal their swag, steal their swagger, steal their style, steal their personality, steal their identity, steal everything that describes them as beautiful souls, and move on into new entanglements. After 3 months, 4 months, maybe something like that, that identity is fading away, because it has never belonged to them in the first place. They have just stolen it from you. Now, they are catching up with the new source of supply's identity, and now they are copying the new supply's identity, and that is what they are going to use when they leave those new sources of supply to step into the new relationships after that one. So it's some kind of a cycle that keeps on going on and on and on and on. But I can guarantee you guys in this video that initially, the narcissist does not have anything what describes authentic personalities and authentic identities. They only have those things that they believe are right, which in most of the times we already know, guys, most of the time the things they do, they are very evil things. So that's why you see the narcissist will do anything that you've never seen before. You will see those individuals asking you questions that you never had before. Yeah, you know what, honey? I've been thinking about our sex is a little bit boring. Let us get somebody else in the relationship so that we can have a threesome. And they will convince you that is the right thing to do. And sometimes because you want to please these individuals, so sometimes a lot of you guys might even sometimes be involved with threesomes and foursomes and whatever, because the narcissist is completely destroyed. That individual is completely corrupted. They have got a very corrupt soul, and those individuals, I can guarantee you guys, if you don't know that already, you're dealing with evil. So of course, as you guys already know, you're always allowed to drop us a comment section below. Let us know what you think about this video. You can always book a session with me if you want to. Let us know what you're dealing with, and we shall do that. Book a session, support and donate to this channel if you want to. Each and everything you need, you'll find it in the description section below. Until then, it's been lovely and always lovely, and a blessing to have you guys on board. There's almost signing out, and I'll catch you in my next one. Peace.